So, what are the main issues now of the conflict? The main issues of the conflict now are, in my opinion, one of juridical, political nature, another economic, legal. The first one is very interesting because we see that the Security Council is trying to invade competences of the General Assembly of the United Nations. According to the law of the United Nations, General Assembly and Security Council are two different bodies with different competences. General Assembly has competence dealing with decolonization issues. Security Council with peace and security. So, why the Security Council got into the fight of the Western Sahara? Because there was a war. But actually, the Security Council got into the issue only when the war finished. Because from 75 to 88, the Security Council did not want to get into the issue. Why? Because the members who support Morocco in the Security Council, France and USA, thought that Morocco could defeat Frente Polisario. Once the Frente Polisario should be defeated, problem should disappear. However, Morocco could not defeat the Frente Polisario, and Morocco was obliged to the disagreement with Frente Polisario. So, the question is that the Security Council, instead of complying with its obligation to implement by force with coercive measures the solution of the conflict, is trying somehow to change the solution that has been approved by the General Assembly. So the General Assembly has stated in a clear and no doubt about this, that this is a decolonization issue, and the way to solve this conflict of decolonization is the decolonization through a referendum. But the Security Council, instead of obliging the parties to put this solution in force, is trying somehow to change the solution of the conflict, saying it has not been said yet, but saying that, well, if one of the parties does not want to implement the solution, we just ask this party to negotiate. But, well, it is clear that this party, if it's not obliged to, will not see. So, this is one of the issues of the conflict. The other is of economic legal nature. The resolution 1514 said that the peoples do not have only the right to freely determine their political status, but also to freely pursue their economic development. So this is the economic side of the self-determination. The United Nations law established and asked, in the case of Western Sahara, for example, it was said in resolution 1974, other states not to invest in a non-self-governing territory because it should be used by the colonial power to impede with the colonization. So, what has done Morocco in all these years? Morocco has tried to look for accomplices for the occupation. How? Inviting investors to go to Western Sahara, foreign investors, so that these foreign investors may influence their states that in order to hold those economic interests, those governments will not support the political solution of the decolonization question. And what is even more scandalous, in my opinion, is that some states and some international organizations like the European Union have played this role of accomplishment. The Fisheries Partnership Agreement of the European Union with Morocco, signed in 2005, is a clear example. The European Union has paid 135 million euros, Morocco, for fishing in the waters of Western Sahara, which are not Moroccan waters, which are not under sovereignty nor administration, legal administration of Morocco. So if the European Union pays Morocco this money for fishing in a territory which is not under Moroccan rule, legally speaking, the European Union is accomplices of this occupation. And this occupation, furthermore, helps to the settlement of Morocco in the Western Sahara, because 95% of the people who are working in the fisheries industry in Western Sahara are Moroccan settlers. The Sahrawis are excluded, the majority. Now, in November, we set a protest, specific protest, that was violently dismantled by Morocco in the capital of Western Sahara, El Ayoun. These people wanted employment, wanted the benefits of the natural resources of the territory. The natural resources of the territory are being spoiled by the occupying power. In some cases, like in the fisheries, with the complicity of the European Union. And it is, in my opinion, very serious, because this is a breach not only of international law. This is also a breach of the Treaty of the European Union that clearly, in its Article 3, paragraph 5, says that the foreign policy of the European Union must be a model for the world, must be a foreign policy guided by the strict observance of the international law. And this is not the case. And this is shameful for all Europeans, in my opinion. So, this is the situation now in Western Sahara. The legality of this fisheries agreement is not just an opinion of a scholar. The legal service of the European Parliament has stated twice that this is not illegal. Firstly, July 2009, legal service of the European Parliament said that this agreement was not legal according to international law, because the fisheries agreement is not on the benefit of the Sahrawi population and has not been agreed according to the wishes of the population. And now, some weeks before, the European Union again signed an agricultural agreement with Morocco. And again, the European Parliament asked for a legal opinion, and the legal service of the European Parliament stated again that this agricultural agreement is illegal if it is not clear that the Western Sahara is excluded from the agreement. So, what can we do? Well, I think that as Europeans, as people conscious of the rule of law, the only way to comply with the legality is not have an obligation to oblige our governments to fully comply with international law, because international law is not only a matter of governments, it's a matter for citizens.